Real Madrid do the business. Unbelievable, by the way, how this unfolded. Give me your thoughts of this game as Los Blancos make it to the semifinals at the expense of Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea.
Oh, well, if they didn't make it, every single player on that team, maybe except Benzema, would have been ran out of the city of Madrid, and the Madridistas would have just had the biggest uprising of annoyance and anger seen in history of the club. But when you have the experience won out tonight, and plaudits to Chelsea for the way they started that game. This is the same Chelsea team that went out and won 6-0 at the weekend with the exact same starting lineup. I thought they had it right with the front three and playing with attacking midfielder. We see Chelsea typically play a 3-4-3 and having that one pivot and really, those three free-flowing players up top. But having Mason Mount in the middle of the park, it really put Casemiro under pressure, who I did not think had a good game. And it put Toni Kroos under pressure and locked up Madrid's midfield. And those three of Kroos, Casemiro, and Modric are so pivotal. Now, Carlo Ancelotti, he deserves all the plaudits because subs change games. And his willingness to bring young legs, Camavinga in the middle of the park again, which Camavinga came on and changed the tie against PSG with just his tough tackling and willingness to run on both sides of the ball. And, of course, the goal scorer, Rodrigo. Man, this guy, he's feeling it. Scored at the weekend against Getafe, back on the score sheet again.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be said, by the way, just to break it down a little bit, this game, and everybody, Chelsea fans, how do you feel about this? Because you were 3-0. Like, it was unbelievable. The first half, by the way, perfect strategy, perfect formation. You suffocated Real Madrid. They had nowhere to go. To your point, Michael Lahoud, players like Toni Kroos were like just, kind of so confused by what to do. There was no spaces. It was a really great performance from Chelsea at halftime, and Ancelotti was probably thanking the football gods that they had a break in the first place. It looked to be similar in the second at the beginning, and, to your point, the substitutions came in, but I do want to say something. There is something about this competition. Real Madrid are like an NBA team, like a star-studded NBA team. Sometimes when you're not feeling it from a strategy perspective, you need to rely on your individuals. Luka Modric, Karim Benzema, Vinicius Jr., they don't need a perfect game. They just need a perfect moment. And that's what happens to Real Madrid almost always. Unbelievable. And the moment they got just that one goal back, I thought, wow, is this going to happen again? The moment that we got into extra time, Michael Lahoud, did you still think that Chelsea had this, or was it a Real Madrid win, do you think?
I think it was Madrid all the way. And really, once Madrid got the goal, then Chelsea were desperate, and in desperate times call for desperate measures and almost desperate moments. But Real Madrid, when that call went for them for VAR, which VAR and Real Madrid and calls going for them go hand in hand, and I'll leave it at just that. That, in that moment, you saw the momentum shift. And it was an extra gust of energy and fight, and the crowd got back in it. Prior to that, the crowd were whistling, they were upset, and there was doubt creeping in. But coupled with that, Carlo Ancelotti, I think, coaching one tonight, and it was really a tale of two halves. In the first half, he was outcoached and outmatched by Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel. But in the second half, he figured it out. And you saw the subs impact the game, but really, Vinicius Jr. started getting more energy and impacting, and obviously he claimed the assist, and that Vinicius and Benzema combination have been some of the most deadly combinations throughout Europe this season.
Yeah, I'm checking on Chiringuito, by the way, right now, and although they're elated, they are questioning Ancelotti right now. They're worried about sort of the tactical on-play management, and when you face, if it's Man City, a Pep Guardiola side that probably won't overthink it. And when you look at this side, by the way, I mean, I think Militao was a big loss absence here today as well, by the way. I believe he's, fourth in the entire tournament in combined tackles and interceptions. He's a big player for them. And next to Alaba, that helps him a lot. To your point, if Casemiro doesn't have a good game, Michael Lahoud, then a lot of that triangular midfield work can break down. Benzema didn't have his best half, and then obviously doesn't matter. All you need is a lick, etc. So they're going to have to really pick themselves up a lot. But you're not going to see much more of a different lineup than when they face the next opponent. So really, it's an individual improvement, right?
I think you're going to see a shift in the lineup, especially when you play against Manchester City. Maybe Valverde stays on that right-hand side, but I would actually see Valverde coming in the middle of the park because they're going to need legs against Manchester City.
We're all predicting that they're going to beat Atletico Madrid. I'm sorry if you're an Atleti fan, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, we're just going right by.
Hey, but you know what? We didn't see Villarreal beating Bayern Munich today, or at least going through. At least I didn't. Did you predict a Villarreal win before this day?
No, I did not. I will say I did predict an Atleti win against Manchester City to progress. So I really want this Madrid derby and just Atleti, Simeone, if you're hearing me, just stop the destructive defensive football and let the boys play. Go for it all against City. But for Real Madrid, what concerns me, yes, is what everyone's saying is it took them till the last gasp goal almost to get back in this tie. But what doesn't concern me is they have arguably the best player in the world in their ranks in Karim Benzema, and a player who is owning this competition and owning La Liga. Last time they had a player like that, they had Cristiano Ronaldo. Mind you, he had a much better supporting cast.
Ballon d'Or favorite, right?
Clearly, yeah, and so would you have a goal scorer like that and a guy who's finding ways, even when he's not playing his best football, still finding ways to be a match winner? You cannot bet against this Real Madrid team, and I think they will learn from this. A big thing I think they got wrong was they rested 5 players from the lineup that went and thumped Chelsea in London and Stamford Bridge. Yeah. And Chelsea, they kept the exact same starting lineup. Continuity breeds momentum, and momentum is key in the quarterfinals and beyond in Champions League play. No more resting, no more shuffling. This is your group. Play them the rest of the way out. And see what happens.
Yeah, I want to take this moment. Des Norris, if you're a producer, if you want to make this a cut and put some classical music behind it, go ahead. But I want to take this moment to salute Luka Modric's ball for Rodrigo. I just want to take this little tiny moment here. It wasn't a pass. It wasn't an assist. It was a piece of art. It belongs at the Louvre. It belongs at the Museum of Modern Art. It belongs everywhere. It was one of the most magical passes I have seen in this competition in recent years. It was, the finish, Rodrigo's finish was beautiful within itself, Michael Lahoud. That pass from Luka Modric, it's just instinct for him. It's like blinking. It's unbelievable what he did.
He's aging like fine wine, aging better than Andrea Pirlo did. And Andrea Pirlo definitely had an amazing end to his career. Maybe not in Major League Soccer. And look at that beautiful face. Just one of the most beautiful footballers. No, I'm kidding. One of the most gifted footballers at Real Madrid, especially over the last decade. And he just consistency. And now he's finding ways to be an offensive threat. I think in years past, Madrid relied on their front three of Benzema, Ronaldo, and Bale.
Michael Lahoud is frozen for us. He will be back, but he makes a good point regarding those stars, of course, especially Luka Modric, by the way. Milo Road and Ilias just joined the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Keep on coming. Hello. I have a question for you. A little call to action, okay? So make sure that you like, subscribe to the channel. Is this the last time we see Chelsea at this stage of the competition for a long time? What do you make of it? Does a lot of it depend on the ownership? Does a lot of it depend on Tuchel himself? What are the new owners going to think if they come away with the fact that Chelsea might get out of this season, or they will with no trophies? They're still hanging on to that Champions League spot for next season. But is this the last time we see Chelsea at this stage of the competition for a long time? It's a question I have for you. Another question I have for you, what do you make of, we have a few Real Madrid fans in the house. What do you make of Carlo Ancelotti? Do you think he got it wrong, at least for 60 minutes? Do you worry about the next opponent, whether that's a Madrid derby or it's Pep Guardiola and Manchester City? We want to hear from you. This is Qué Golazo, Tuesday Champions League. Ilias, Modric, magician, absolutely. And just because it's me right now, I want to answer. This is a Q&A now, so give me the questions. Ask me what you want to know about what I thought of the games. I want to go back to Villarreal's fantastic, historic win over Bayern Munich. Tremendous stuff from Unai Emery, who reaches his historic first ever semifinal in the Champions League. Unbelievable. USMNT fans, what do you think of Christian Pulisic, by the way? Poor once again. Was a little too late, his introduction. Is it not enough? Do you think it was the wrong moment for him? What do you make of Christian Pulisic? All right. And here we go. Michael Lahoud is in the house.
Hey, we'll finish this one way or another. Apologies to all you watching.
I got you, bro. Don't worry. I'm
the
always here.
internet
Don't
here.
worry. I'm the host of Qué Golazo will never let you go. Don't worry about it. Let me ask you something. Rudiger's goal, never a corner in the first place, right? What'd you make of that?
I was surprised that goal was allowed even to be given and not reviewed for the fact that it wasn't a corner. And it's something we'll touch base on later, why those things still happen. But you can't take away from the finish. In the box at that moment, there was a bit of confusion, and the referees' calls are going to be made. The referee's going to get it wrong, and the line crew is going to get it wrong at times. That's called life. That's called football. But what I didn't like from Real Madrid was Rudiger gets an unmarked header. The most dangerous header of the ball from Chelsea cannot be left unmarked, and he makes Madrid pay, thumps in the ground, and he's been a player who's been in form offensively. What he hasn't been able to do defensively in the first leg, he definitely is made up for offensively for Chelsea. And Chelsea, if there's ever a player that you need to pay that man whatever he asks. If he wants a beach in Africa, give the man a beach. If he wants a gold statue, a tiger like Mike Tyson, give the guy. And mind you, he is also rumored to have interest and be in talks with Real Madrid. And Tony Rudiger was playing like a player who was auditioning for Real Madrid's back line tonight.